Hello friends, and welcome to the beautiful desert. It's summertime and it's always a hot one here in Arizona, and not uncommon for us to have extreme heat warnings multiple days throughout the summer. Temperatures can range from 110 to 118 degrees Fahrenheit. It's brutal. And I remember as a kid when we had the 122 degree day, I remember my dad had the t-shirt proving that he survived that super hot day. So it may surprise some of you that I have hummingbirds year round. Yes, even in the summertime. If it were me, I'd migrate. The extreme heat of the summer spoils the nectar and makes it unsafe for the hummingbirds to drink. So each evening I take down my hummingbird feeders, change them out, put fresh nectar in clean dry feeders each morning for those hummingbirds. It's a chore, but I'm doing something that I love. And I'm always looking for ways to keep the nectar cool in the summertime. While I was just mindlessly scrolling on social media one evening, I came across something from one of my birding groups. It's an insulated hummingbird feeder. Genius! So when I saw it, I immediately ordered 2. And this is from Anna's Healthy Hummingbird. And I am so excited to share them with you. Interesting enough, these were actually designed for the wintertime in the Pacific Northwest to keep the nectar warm. The clever design is an insulated hummingbird feeder, and it's designed to keep the nectar both warmer and cooler in the winter and summer months. You add hot water to the base to keep the nectar warm in the wintertime, and of course ice to keep the nectar cool in the summer. Well, no time like the present. We are really gonna put these to the test, so let's get to it. The insulated hummingbird feeders, let's open them up. Oh, beautifully designed. It's got the 2 port and space for the nectar, space for ice or hot water. Oh, and it's got a little hummingbird on it. Just lovely. So we'll wash them up, try them out. I use Dawn dish soap because it doesn't leave the chemical residue after you rinse it, so it rinses completely clean. So I specifically use Dawn. I'm not affiliated with P&G. I'm just stating facts. We're taking all the pieces apart, of course the lid, the container, and then the insulated base. Allowed to soak 10 to 15 minutes in hot soapy water. So we use these brushes to scrub the feeders. This gets in the ports, and then of course we have a brush. It's a baby bottle brush, but it works great for hummingbird feeders. Go in between those little ports to make sure that's scrubbed all the way through. Then take the baby bottle brush, really give everything a good scrub. Great, and we just rinse. Cold water. We'll let everything dry. Using dry feeders prevent mold growth from happening. First I've got the insulated cup and I've got the ice. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the max line. Make sure that the dish fits properly. Actually, I might take out a cube. That seats better. We'll fill it with the fresh room temperature nectar. It's around a perfect 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Secure the lid in place. This is all ready to go. Let's take it outside for the bird. Here's the garden stake that I'm going to hang the insulated hummingbird feeder on. Take a look at that. It doesn't fit directly onto the hook. I have some extra hooks in the house, so we'll be able to hopefully hang these. In my hummingbird extras here, this little basket, I should have some extra hooks. Yes, here we are. Great, so with the hook attached, let's test out the Anna's Healthy Hummingbirds insulated feeders in these extreme desert temperatures. Just a quick flyby to check out the new feeder. The insulated hummingbird feeder can also be placed on a tabletop. You can also have a water feature next to it to create your own hummingbird oasis. Oh, here's a longer look this time. I felt like the hook was just a little too high up next to the post, so I just did a zip tie, and maybe a hummingbird will perch on it. Here is a female this time. And great! We have contact! Let's do a check on those insulated hummingbird feeders. All right, so it's been 4 hours since we've laid out the nectar, and it is sitting at 75 degrees. That's perfect. Let's just see what the ice situation is. Needing a close refill after about 4 hours. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to leave it out tomorrow. I won't be home, so it'll be interesting to see how it'll do in a full day of this Arizona heat. Another beautiful desert sunset to end the day. The insulated hummingbird feeders have been out for 16 hours. Let's open them up check the levels of the ice, add ice, and see how cool that nectar is. It's just water that's inside, but let's check the temperature of the nectar, see how cool it stayed. Perfect. It's reading at about 58 degrees Fahrenheit. That's awesome. We dumped out the water. We'll add the ice to the max line that's on the inside. Put that nectar back in and we will leave it out for the day. And it's only supposed to be a high of 100 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is a little cooler for July. Set this one out, get the other one refilled. This feeder has been out in 104 degree temperature today. Let's see what the temperature of the nectar is. And it is reading at a beautiful 89 degrees. Love it. Of course, we've got some water still left over. I'm curious about the temperature. The water is insulated at 83.5 degrees Fahrenheit. This second feeder gets a lot of sun. So we're gonna test this one. See what the temperature of the nectar is. It is 83.3. Wow. Amazing. There's the water, and let's see what that is. 54 degrees. Outside of this is pretty warm. These are working out wonderfully. So I'm gonna water a plant with this water, fill it with ice, put it back for those birds. I'm confident that they'll get used to the change with the feeder design. Even though I have this feeder well shaded with the shrub and the umbrella shade, I'm curious about the temperature of the nectar. This particular feeder gets a lot of shade. I have the Mexican honeysuckle that the hummingbirds love. It provides a nice shade for that feeder. I'm curious to see what the nectar really is on these hot days. I think this is 92 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't that bad. I was expecting a lot warmer. Currently, we are under a heat advisory, so the temperatures outside are pretty extreme. So it's a great time to test out these insulated feeders. I'm going to compare it to the traditional style of feeders that I typically use. So I have some fresh nectar here. It's at room temperature. It's sitting at 78 degrees. Go ahead and fill both containers. We're gonna sit this outside. Got the ice in the insulated hummingbird feeder. Just get these ready to go and place outside for those birds. All right, so we're gonna set these outside and see how they compare in these extreme heat warning temperatures. As the day passes, let's enjoy the hummingbirds around the garden. Placed my hummingbird feeders out 12 hours ago. Let's do a temperature reading of both hummingbird feeders, the traditional glass hummingbird feeder versus the insulated hummingbird feeder, and see how they measure up. It was truly a scorcher today. It was a high of 116 degrees and both of these feeders were out. The umbrella was closed and the feeder was in full sun as the traditional feeder. Quick check. Whoa, that's hot. 124 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's compare it to the insulated hummingbird feeder. Take a temperature read. So it's at 100 degrees. It is cooler than 120. Oh, but it doesn't burn. And to test how cold that water is. So the inside is at 91. So let's go ahead and take this feeder over to the hook, get it out for the birds to find and enjoy. Let's see if adding ice to the insulated hummingbird feeder will cool off that nectar. Aw, they've gotten comfortable with the change. This has been sitting with fresh ice for about 20 minutes, so let's see what's a difference with adding ice. So yeah, it's cooled it off to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in 20 minutes. Fantastic. I just knew that Arizona would not disappoint in bringing the heat. I am so impressed with these feeders. I think they did great in the Arizona heat. We had some hot days, so these did a great job in the summertime, so I'm gonna test them out in the wintertime too. Won't be until about January that we get lows in the 30s, so new video 2026. The insulated hummingbird feeder can be ordered from annashealthyhummingbird.com. I feel that the price is appropriate. It's very well made and it works great. I thought it was a little steep at first, but because of how well it's designed and how well it's made, it is definitely worth the price. So if you order your own insulated hummingbird feeder, if you're able to, let them know you saw it here on YouTube at Sonoran Bling. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, friends, happy birding.